Hey everybody, welcome back. We're doing a series of videos that really kind of cross over between parenting tools and also teaching tools. And so last video we introduced the concept of choices, and I hope you've had a chance to practice this, practice it in fun situations, practice it also with some maybe more difficult choices where you're actually looking to change behavior or help guide a student or a child in a good choice. So we wanted to dive into that more because we realized that if you're doing this for the first time or even you're doing it at all, kids are going to push back. So we wanted to talk about what happens when kids push back and they don't choose what you want. They don't make a choice at all, perhaps, or they say, as a child, children have known to do personally. We've practiced this before. We've had children respond by saying, "I choose neither," and you're like, what do I do now? So we want to jump into this really because we understand this is tough. Parenting is tough. Teaching is tough, and so we want to talk about some more about how to do choices in a classroom setting and also even with as a parent in a home. And so we'll go with first concept or an idea is that if you have a child who can communicate by talking, this is typically, here's how you would tackle choices with them. So let's say, for example, I give Sammy, give them a choice. You can sit on that chair or this chair, and they say no, I'm not going to do either of them. And you follow up right away, you can choose the chair or I'll choose for you. No, they either verbally say they're not going to choose or they just don't choose. They just stand there. And now there's a battle brewing. There's a storm. Here's the thing, as we wanted to start this video by saying this statement, is that having a plan, a parent or a teacher with a plan is a powerful teacher, powerful parents. So having a plan, I've heard other statements, if you fail to plan to fail. It's a thing. Having a plan is important. So you're going to have a plan now to go through what would happen if they say no. So anyway, back to our predicament. Sammy has refused to make a choice, even refused to make a choice a second time around when you implored them, and you're doing this rather quickly. Again, we don't advocate waiting long to do this. Number one, because it's disruptive to the rest of the class or even to your family. And number two, you don't need to wait very long. So we don't count to 5. We don't do it very long. We do it like this is a second or 2 at most. They should be able to make a decision pretty quickly. That's why we're giving them just 2 choices. So you try all these things, and then they start arguing with you. All right. Again, this is for a child who can talk. So I would say preschool or above, 3 or 4 or so, on up to elementary, even to teenagers, rather, so they can start to talk. They can push back. We'll call it push back. They can argue with you. And so one of the first concepts we love, this is from Love and Logic, the phrase, so all kudos and credit to them for this phrase, but it's called going brain dead. So
it's a brilliant thing.
It's a brilliant thing. Here's the fundamental statement that I love, and this is it right here. I love you too much to argue with you. All right. So just get that idea in your mind that I love any child too much to argue with them. All right.
Yeah.
The side effects, of course, is arguments are a waste of time. They're disruptive to a classroom. They're disruptive to family. Not very fun at all. But if you think about this core, is at the end of the day, I love my children too much to argue with them. I love the students that I teach too much to argue with them. And that's a good phrase to start, but going brain dead is even simpler than that, which is great because I need simple. I don't know about you, I need simple. So here's some brain dead phrases you can use if a child is pushing back on you. Hey, I'd like you to sit in this chair or this chair. You can choose this chair or this chair. Neither of them. I want to stand over there. Well, that wasn't an option. This chair or this chair, and you choose or I choose. I want to stand. That wasn't a choice. So they keep arguing with you. What do? I love you too much to argue is a great statement. Or you can say, maybe so. Or nice try. Or you can say, Whatever, I know. Whatever you say. So you're not permitting the behavior. You're not giving them permission to do that. You're just expressing a short phrase that hears them out. When you say "I know" with a smile on your face, of course you're not being sarcastic. You're actually genuinely meaning this. This is difficult too. Is that sometimes these phrases sound like they're sarcastic. They're not actually sarcastic. They're genuinely, I am understanding where they're coming from, but I'm not engaging with them. So,
right.
And "I know" is a really good statement, or "maybe so" is a neutral sort of statement that sets a tone. You're not going to argue with them. So that idea of brain dead is just simply stating that short phrase that's not dialoguing with them, because kids to a certain degree do want you to engage with them. And we're not here to engage at that level. We're here to we've given choices for a reason, right? Because we have a lesson to teach, or because we're trying to parent. And so we're not actually trying to engage with an argument. We love them too much to argue at the end of the day. So that's that idea. That's for a child that can engage and talk with you, all right? So then you're saying, okay, there's a category of kid who's now being disruptive, or they can't talk with you, right?
Maybe they're having a temper tantrum. They're throwing a fit. They're crawling under the table.
Yeah.
They're maybe throwing chairs or threatening. They've escalated now. It's to the point where they're out of control.
Yep.
And now it's borderline unsafe.
Yeah.
So this would be the next level. Where you would not use brain dead statements.
Right.
But you would move to a funner room.
Yeah.
Or that kind of a mentality.
Yeah. So we have a tool that we've used both personally in parenting and also with teaching in the classroom is we also affirm this statement as an expectation in class at the beginning, which is helpful.
Or in our house.
Is that we want to have fun.
Right.
We are fun people. Right. And so this goes way back to the idea of connection too, is that, hey, you've actually got to be a warm teacher or warm parents, that you actually genuinely want to have fun with the kids that you're teaching or parenting. I hope that's the case. If not, I'll pray with you and help you to have fun, because we really do want to have fun with with our kids.
Right.
I want to have fun with my boys that I raise. I want to have fun with the kids in my classroom too. So there's that thing too. But we use that phrase fun or room when we're at home, because obviously an option for our house is to take them to the room, right? One in the classroom we've used, or is that you could have fun, or you can go into the hallway, okay? It's a choice. It's still a choice, right? They have a choice. We walk them through the same parameters of the choice series that we did before.
Right.
We say, hey, I want to have fun. I'm setting an expectation. I want you to have fun. You can choose fun or hallway, fun or room if you're at your house.
Yep.
And we say that,
and if they don't choose,
you say,
you choose or I choose. Walk or be carried.
Yeah, we go that far. So here's the thing, we as parents, even as teachers, for sure as teachers, but even as parents, we don't bully our kids. We do not physically restrain kids or physically carry kids, with the rare exception of there's a danger to another child, or there's a physical danger. Of course, if my child is going to run off a cliff, I'm going to grab them whether they like it or not, okay? Same thing with a child in a classroom setting. I'm never going to grab them unless there's a violent act that's about to happen, etc. So we don't bully in that regard, but we certainly do. Even in a classroom setting, I will put an arm around a shoulder and I'll say, we're going to take a walk out to the hallway. And so we leave that as an option too. So the phrase that I want you to stick with you is fun or room, fun or hallway. Again, our goal is that we want to have fun in our classroom. We believe that you can have fun and you can learn at the same time. They're not mutually exclusive. And so our goal is to cultivate a fun environment. And so we give them that choice. And sometimes kids will walk you through the whole process, which ultimately leads to you guiding them out to the hallway. Where that works in a classroom setting is if you have a helper who is able to teach, you have them teach afterwards, or teach while you're in the hallway. with the child in a classroom setting. You can involve your team lead if they are close by, or they can respond to a text message.
Mhm.
You involve a children's ministry director, somebody else who is also trained, has clearances in the back, etc. We are looking at doing it in a classroom setting, in a hallway or a neutral place, both for your safety and for the child's safety. So
Mhm.
there's just an idea of you're not taking them to a private
room,
setting.
right.
You're taking them to an area that's relatively public. Again, the whole goal is that you obviously would not get to this point, but you're willing to go there because you value fun, you value
Mhm.
connection, but you also value this idea that, hey, we're gonna make sure everybody has fun, not just you, not just the one child in the room. They don't rule the roost, so to speak. And I hope that makes sense. We are not tolerating any disruption.
Right.
And
it may eventually escalate to getting a parent involved, but
Yeah.
the hope is that they'll realize that the hallway's not fun,
yeah,
and that they'll want to change their behavior and come in and be fun. And that's how you, as the teacher or even parent, depending on if you're at home, get them back, is to say, as soon as you're ready to be fun and to be around the rest of us being fun, you're welcome to join us. So it doesn't have to take long.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of parents will say, you need to go to your room and you need to stay in there for 30 minutes and then come out. It doesn't have to take that long. And in fact, many cases, if they're willing to adjust right away, and they will, great, come back. Enjoy. We want to be with you. I'm not punishing you. I want you to go to your space where you can reset. And sometimes I need to take a time out. Like, I need to go to my room and calm down.
Yeah.
And get myself in a better place.
Yeah.
And so sometimes our kids need that too. And they need to be pulled out for a second. But it doesn't have to take 30 minutes. It doesn't have to take 10 minutes. It could take a second. One of our children used to, we would say funner room. And as soon as we said that, he would go from literally screaming, having a temper tantrum, to smile on his face. I choose fun. And like, he could flip it that quickly. And so he eventually knew what that meant, because we enforced it. But it didn't take him long, and we were able to get back to doing the things that we were doing. Yeah. So kids will learn that eventually, that you are going to enforce it if you enforce it. But again, with that mindset of, hey, I want to have fun with you. I'm not having fun right now. It doesn't look like you're having fun. Yeah. We need to step out a minute, and you can choose to stay here and be fun, or go out here and hang out here until you're ready to be fun. Yeah.
And I will say with that, we don't threaten. We don't threaten to withhold a snack. We don't threaten to withhold, if you're at home, like no ice cream. We will say we will use natural consequences, and we'll plan. Mm-hmm. So for example, if you're in a classroom setting, a great tool is to have your helper serve snack while the child is out. It's a natural consequence that they are missing a snack. They may or may not get to enjoy snack when they're back. Of course, you're not rubbing it into them. You're not saying, well, you missed snack because of that. No, you're just having natural consequences, because it's a part of behavior. Part of their choice was to, they chose by their behavior to be in the hallway because they couldn't have fun. Mm-hmm. And if they happen to lose snack in that process, that happens. We've done this as parents. We've orchestrated this to happen during a dessert. All right. Again, we're not trying to be mean parents. We're just making natural consequences, recognize natural consequences that happen. So we've had ice cream missed, and we've had dessert missed, and
the child missed it because they were choosing to not be fun. Right. And it was during a time where we were moving into having ice cream, and so he missed out on ice cream because he was not being fun. But that was his choice. Yeah. And we reinforced that. Like, I'm so sorry. You made that choice. You decided to not be fun.
You're acknowledging it.
And you couldn't be around us because we don't like that. We're not okay with kids not being fun. Right. And we don't allow that in our home.
And with that said, with like the idea of classroom management too, if you get the sense that a child thinks it's fun to be back with their parents, talk with their parents and make sure that's not an option. All right. So, for example, I've taught classes where I think the kid actually wanted to be back with their parents, but for several reasons it was not a good idea. All right. And this is definitely involve parents in this decision process too. Yeah. But make sure that you're not giving them a choice that they actually kind of secretly want, because though you're getting them out of your hair, so to speak, by sending them back to the parents, is that what they wanted? And our goal is not, again, we're not punishing them, but we're allowing them to experience natural consequences. We're not a helicopter parent or a helicopter teacher and trying to bend our whole world around making it appropriate for them. We are actually trying to help them experience the natural consequences of their decision, which would include things that wouldn't be fun for them to do. So if going back to their parents for whatever reason is fun, because they get to be in the sanctuary goofing off or whatever they're going to do, make sure that's off the table too. We're looking at natural consequences. This is tough. We recognize that this is tough, but if you're consistent, if you do this every time, this is why we're teaching these things, because if every teacher does this, every parent does this, we'll create a culture where kids know they aren't going to get away with it. I would just put this out here too. I know as we're wrapping up, parents, make sure you're on the same page, husband and wives together, about what you're going to do. Yes. I know Hannah and I, it's not a fun conversation in the sense that I don't really want to spend my time late at night talking about this, but so worthwhile to invest in. Hey, we have this problem with child X. Can we make sure we're on the same page about how we're going to handle this? And we've done this a couple times over the years, even with teaching. You have a little conference with your fellow teachers. Let's all have a plan together about how we're going to approach this child, so they get the idea that they can't be harder with this teacher or that teacher. They're all the same. Same with parents too, especially. So you're unified together. So vitally important you're unified together on the same page as a vision for parents together. So is that a good ending point? Recap. Yeah.
So go brain dead, parents. Okay. When your child tries to argue with you.
Yeah. Maybe so.
Works great with teenagers. It's brilliant, and they know it. They know it. When you start using those phrases over and over again, they get so frustrated, and then they just stop. They don't have any argument to you. So the phrases are probably so, I know, nice try. What was the other one?
I love you too much to argue. Yeah. Or a variation, maybe so, probably so.
Maybe so, probably so. I know, nice try. Yeah. Depending on the situation. But if you repeat those over and over and over again, even in the same conversation, it'll stop them.
Because it communicates consistency. It communicates the fact that you're not going to give in. As soon as you give in, the argument was worthwhile to a child or teenager. And so we're not looking at that. We're looking at creating a culture where they recognize that you're firm in your decision, and you're not going to give in to arguments. Yep. And you're not going to allow that kind of conversation. So
situation at home in our house is who's doing the dishes, and oftentimes it's a battle sometimes, but there's times where I'll say to one of my sons, go, it's your turn to do the dishes. And and he'll have this argument, oh, but so and so did it yesterday, or I did it 3 days in a row, and so and so hasn't in 3 days, and I just say, I know, probably so, nice try. I just keep saying that over and over again, and eventually he just breaks down and just goes to do the dishes. Yeah. So I don't need to get into that battle. Yeah. Even though whether it was fair or not fair, it doesn't matter. I asked him to do it, and I wanted him to do it. So that's how you can get through those kinds of conversations with your kids. Yeah. Okay, other recaps.
The fun in room.
Fun in room. Yeah. Fun or hall. Use those. Those are good times, especially when they're younger and they're acting out and they're not being fun. And you might have to even explain to your child, what does fun look like? What do we want fun to look like? Yeah. It means to be calm. It means to be respectful, loving, kind. If they're hitting their siblings, that's not fun. If they're, manipulating their siblings, that's not fun. If they're calling them names, that's not fun.
Yeah.
Like, the level of fun that you're willing to tolerate in your home or in your classroom is up to you. But at the end of the day, we want our kids, calling them higher, we want them to be demonstrating the fruits of the Spirit in our home and in our classrooms. So we want to be holding them to that standard. But we want to be removing them when they're not willing to, if we've given those choices to be fun or, to step out until they're ready to be fun.
Awesome. I'm sure you might have questions about this. That's okay. Feel free to ask us questions. We're also looking to do more videos on some other topics related to this. So stay tuned. If you're saying this seems crazy, I encourage you just to try it. Try at the level that we started at today and see what happens.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that actually Love and Logic talked about this too in their training, is that this idea of we're just going to try something. All right. And that's the key. I think it's not that we're flippant about parenting or teaching, but we've got to try. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we're going to fail in the process. And if there's a failure in the sense that we need to repent, by all means we can repent and ask for forgiveness. But if there's a idea of something, we try something that doesn't work, then we regroup, we get a plan, and we try it again. So I'd encourage you with that one. Give these things a try and see what happens. And you might be really, really surprised. And I was. Mm-hmm. It's been amazing what we've tried in the classroom setting, tried in that home setting, to see what happens. So as always, thank you for watching. Thanks for engaging with us in this. We love you. Can't wait to see what God does.